Evening, welcome to the Rams review from RamsTV. Owen and Bradley with Sean Barker alongside. Derby County have their first point of the new year. A late penalty from Jerry Yates earning the Rams a deserved draw at Norwich this afternoon. Just 24 hours on from the departure of Paul Warne, the head coach, Derby really dug in at Carrow Road. They had a good goal, wrongly, I think, disallowed for offside in the first half. They went behind to a fine Josh Sargent strike in the second half, but there was late drama. Harness felled in the area, Yates converting the spot kick. Great for those visiting fans to have something to smile about. Derby ending their run of 7 consecutive defeats. You'll hear from first-team coach Matt Hamshaw shortly. He was in charge today following Paul Warne and Richie Barker's sacking yesterday. There is lots to talk about, Sean Barker. Let's start with the game first. Was it a deserved point for Derby?
It was, yeah. It was a tireless effort from the boys out on the pitch. I thought our shape and structure behind the ball was excellent. We limited, excuse me, Norwich just a few chances over the 90 minutes. They had possession, yes, but they didn't really cause us too many problems. Sargent got a wonderful goal, and while you kept it at 1-0, there was always a chance of getting back in, and we just needed that little bit of luck, which we got with the penalty, and Yates did really, really well in a really pressurised situation to score. So, in terms of attitude, application, it was excellent, everything you want. It feels different because it's a result. Is this a million miles off what we've seen previously in the last month or two? Absolutely not. It was very similar. We limited them to chances. We didn't have many chances ourselves, but everything you want from away performance. We were tight, we defended well. We took our chance when it arrived, and of course we could have had another one. So good performance, good reaction to what's been a very tough couple of days.
Well, we'll hear from Matt Hamshaw in just a second, and he'll talk a little bit about the challenges that he's faced over the past 24 hours. How difficult will it have been for the players in the context of everything that's happened to go out and perform like that today?
You're a professional footballer, and this happens time and time again. And it is difficult, of course, especially when you have a good relationship with the manager, and all of the players do. The coaching staff know Paul and Richie obviously really well and have been with him at different clubs. So it's a very difficult situation, but it's one that you have to step up to. It's one that you have to get on with. It's football, how professional you can be and get your mindset on the game and soul of the game. And while you're employed by the club, your job is to get the best results and do the best for Derby County. And you cannot fault any of the players, any of the staff from trying to get a positive result this afternoon. And they got what they deserved because Norwich are a good side. They've seen off lots of teams in that bottom half comfortably at home. The detail that had gone throughout the week, and I'm sure it was very similar to when Paul and Richie were planning on taking this game, it was put to great effect by the players, and they deserved that little bit at the end. You know, the manner of getting a result, staying at 1-0, staying in the game, getting that little moment, Jerry taking the penalty and scoring in the 90th minute. We've been looking for that for a long time. It came obviously today, and hopefully that's a little boost that the boys need.
And let's get some reaction from Carrow Road then. Here's first team coach in charge today, Matt Hamshaw.
Obviously really pleasing. I think that we allowed Norwich to have control possession where we wanted it. Our goal comes from a little bit of mistake, Clarkey jumping out, which we'd not worked on, but these things happen in football. But I felt really confident in the technical area. I felt that we controlled them to limited opportunities. I felt that we were always a danger on a counter-attack. We changed the shape slightly, let's go with 2 10s. And I had the luxury of bringing good players off the bench, which obviously hasn't been the case the last few weeks. But I thought there were just real positives out there. Langas's obviously first game away at a difficult place, having just had a pre-season, and that was his first game. I thought he were outstanding, having Nat Phillips back, and having the group of players back who we know what they can achieve.
In the first half, you put together a really good move, which Lars-Jørgen Salvesen scored from. It was ruled out for offside. I presume you've not seen it again yet, but it's the finest of margins, which has been sort of symptomatic of the last couple of weeks, really. Yeah,
I mean, it was some goal, wasn't it? Real good build-up player. A lot of things we've been working on this week about getting 10s in pockets and getting 2 deep midfield players involved a little bit more and playing through central areas and putting crosses low and hard across the box for obviously Lars, because that's what he thrives upon. So I haven't had the luxury of watching it back yet, but if you, I mean, some people have already told me that it's definitely onside. I don't know, but I wish that we could stick that goal on another 2-1 and 3 points. It'd be much better, but obviously we don't have that luxury. But it's a little bit symptomatic of the things that have been happening recently, really. Odd things going against us, but I'm not going to stand here and cry a river about it. There's 23 other teams in this league who probably feel exactly the same way as I do today. You sometimes get them, you sometimes don't, but I just thought as reaction, the way we stayed in game, we made some tactical changes with 10 minutes to go and then 5 minutes to go, and I felt that the team really benefited, and obviously Marcus got his penalty, and it were like watching Jerry as a 12-year-old in my head taking that penalty, and I had every confidence in him scoring it. So yeah, really pleasing day, but really positive for the club.
You mentioned there about the players have had some sort of setbacks over the last couple of weeks, whether it's been injuries, whether it's been moments in games. When you have that goal ruled out in the first half, you go behind in the second half, what does it say about the group that they hung in there and you got that goal and you could have gone on and won it as well? Yeah,
I think it speaks volumes, because if I'm going to be brutally honest and truthful, it was tough yesterday. It was tough for everybody concerned. The lads were devastated, and I don't use that term lightly. Forget Paul as a football manager, he's an unbelievable bloke, and the lads really liked him. So it was tough. I ain't going to lie, I've spoken to numerous players, I've had individual meetings, and I kind of said, look, like today, let it be what it be, and then tomorrow morning if we can get up and think purely about football, and I mean this sounds ridiculous or ruthless, but football's a football, as it's happened to me in my career. You wake up, you try and do the best you can for yourself, and they've done that today. And look, the culmination of what we saw, a number of reasons I think around having training days. It's been game after game after game. We've rolled the same players out when we knew physically they couldn't do it. But look, like I can stand here until I'm blue in the face and say this hasn't gone for us, that hasn't gone for us. But it is what it is. All we're judging it on is today, and you know, staff around me have all pulled together. Obviously, I gave the late shout yesterday to Jono and Bucko, so it were a busy 4 hours on bus trying to update them on what we'd been working on, how we're going to do it, what we're going to try and do. So yeah, it's been hard work. I'm not going to lie, my head's a bit frazzled, but it's a positive day for the football club, and you know that was the key at 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever time I woke up this morning, until 6 o'clock when I hopefully get on bus and can enjoy that point.
How big psychologically is it then to get that late goal and get a point and stop that run of defeats, which has been unfortunate because there have been so many games in there where I guess you shouldn't have lost for varying reasons?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we've also run into 3 at top 4, so that's difficult within that run as well. But yeah, look, like it's easy for me to stand here and talk about what's been. Like I'm a man of today and tomorrow, and today is positive and tomorrow will be positive, however that looks. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. Hopefully, I can remain at the football club because I've loved it. I've loved my time at it. Like obviously the promotion that we had in the summer, excellent. And look, Paul's an amazing guy. And I just want the fans to remember him for that promotion and not remember him for this 7-run defeat, which I know happens in football. What has been, but the club, how it is now to how it was when we first come in, is 100% different. And I think you've only got to speak to anybody within the football club to agree with that statement. Yeah, because you see managers on TV and things like that, and they talk about if when they leave a club they want to leave it in a better place, and I think that's certainly the case with Paul. And it's not necessarily just on the field. There's been the culture around the place. It's certainly made big strides in the last couple of years. Yeah, but look, that's your job as a football coach, football manager, assistant manager. Your job is to try and get in that club. Obviously, firstly, change results, because generally when you get a job, that's what happens. You try and change results, and then you try and work on everything else. We've obviously tried to change the culture. I think it has been changed. I think there's a number of reasons for that, which obviously there's no point me going into to you now because you all know about them. But the club nearly didn't exist, and now it's in the Championship. There's a really lot to be prouder of this team. They will give you everything they've got. Hopefully that can be good enough, which I think it will be. But what I can reassure fans is moving forward, every player in that dressing room is fully committed and has been fully committed to this football club.
I guess you're ready for a lie down now.
Yeah, lie down and sleep, yeah. Thank you.
Sounds like an exhausting 24 hours or so for Matt Hamshaw, and also sounds as though his future is very much still up in the air. Probably a conversation for another time, Sean Barker. But he can be proud of the efforts today, and the team can as well.
Yeah, he certainly can. Everything that has been planned this week, obviously, you get to the final hurdle on the Friday, and things change, and there's a dramatic U-turn, and all of a sudden he has to take charge, and along with Bucko and Jono has taken this game. So lots of prep will have been done, but he will have to reinforce that when he gets there. He has to try and keep calm heads. He has to keep that composure and make sure that the boys put in a performance. And you can't argue with any of the effort that we saw today. They deserve the point. Difficult times, you know, characters I've mentioned a few times have to step up, and it's probably the first time in the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 weeks that we could have had 5 or 6 players in the shout for player of the match. I thought the 2 wing backs in Ozzy and Tomo were outstanding. I thought Nat Phillips slotted back at centre half extremely well. Obviously Langer's got the player of the match. Ozo and Adams in midfield were tenacious throughout. So much work goes into getting results, whether that's a point or 3. But going away from Carrow Road with a point is something to work off and continue to improve and try and get some wins, especially at Pride Park.
And Norwich went in front midway through the second half. Arguably the best goal that's been scored against Derby this season, certainly in terms of a team move, I would argue. Did you worry when Josh Sargent put them in front that it was going to be a very similar story to the one that we've seen on a few occasions already this season?
Well, you have that moment, don't you, where how many times this season have we seen us go behind and not have the quality, not have the maybe the endeavour or the belief or the little detail in that final third to get back into it. And if we're being honest, it felt like it might be that this afternoon. We had a couple of half-decent opportunities in good areas without really testing the keeper. But we kept going, we kept on pushing forward. We changed the personnel in the last 15 minutes or so. And one of the difference was two or three players that we brought on have had to play pretty much every game. Even when they've been out of form, we haven't had the squad and we haven't had the personnel to put other players in. For the first time in a while, you've got the likes of Jerry Yates and the likes of Jackson on the bench to try and make an impact when they came on. So we were limited to opportunities. That has to improve from now to the end of the season. We have to get more chances. We have to create more opportunities. But it doesn't matter how you get your result. We got a result. It broke the 7 straight defeats in the league. Well, now we can look forward.
And 2 other subs involved in the goal, Marcus Harness winning the penalty, and I don't think Norwich can have any complaints. And then Jerry Yates scoring the penalty, just the 3rd Derby substitute to score this season, which I think tells you something about the campaign they've had.
It does. It tells you a story of maybe the strength in depth. Hammy alluded to it there, that so many things have gone against him, especially with injuries at key points. We're talking about Ozo being out the team for, 5 months. He made a huge impact when he came, and you saw his presence in the game this afternoon. When you've got a lack of maybe I would call starting players, so just because you're in a squad doesn't mean you're far off that starting 11. It means you're fully expected to start a game or start a game soon. Too many times we've had to ask in the academy or look for players that probably wouldn't be in the squad if you had the numbers. That has cost us at times. Only 3 players coming on, if that's the right fact, that you need impact from subs. And time again this season, we've said, look at the quality of the opposition bench, look at who they can bring on, look at how they can impact the game. And fortunately, it feels that those players that did this afternoon did.
We saw one brilliant move from Derby in the first half, and Lars Jørgen Salvesen thought he'd scored. I still think he scored. I think he was onside. But what's your view on it?
It was very close. It was very close. It was a wonderful move, and if it had gone in, it would have been the goal of the season for me, because we probably had 20 or so passes before we got into the halfway line. Mendez-Laing dropped into a wonderful position, turned, played it down the left-hand side, and it's whether or not Salvesen was offside just as that ball came in. Ozzy put a wonderful ball across the face of the goal into that near post area. Salvesen scored. The only reason maybe why the linesman probably gave it in favour of Norwich was because Salvesen was the wrong side of the defenders for the whole bit of that sequence, and maybe just thought he'd edged offside. But on second viewings, on replays, it looks like it was a harsh decision. But however you know, they had an opportunity. Theirs was chalked for offside. Doesn't matter. We got a point. We got it when we needed right at the end. And you have to give your hats off to Jerry Yates, who took that pressure penalty and he slotted it home well.
Yeah, Derby with a deserved point. Let's get some more reaction. Here's Nathaniel Mendez-Laing.
Ready when you are. Cool. Nat, hard-fought point on the road with a late equaliser. How do you reflect on that game?
Yeah, I think it's a great point on the road. Boys dug in. We didn't put our heads down. We kept going, and I think under the circumstances, it's a good point and something that we can build from.
After a tough run of results, how important was it to get that point on the board and sort of start moving in the right direction again?
Yeah, it's massive. Look, I know the celebrations might have been a little over the top today, but I think sometimes you just need that point on the board to just kind of get your confidence going again, and it just boosts the morale of the squad. And you know, like I say, moving forward to Tuesday, it's something that we can build on.
Cold penalty from Jerry Yates. What sort of moment can that really lift the team?
It's a massive moment that we just said to him in there. You know, it's a big pressure moment, and you know, he's ice cold in the moments, to be fair to him. So you know, he was never in doubt for me.
Does it show the character and a bit of togetherness in the team that you can fight back and get a result in that fashion? Yeah, for sure. Like this is what we needed. You know, just to kind of get our heads down now and build on it. Something to build on. Obviously, with what's going on at the club at the moment, we just kind of need to get our heads down, focus, and focus on Tuesday. Like so, back at home on Tuesday, and like you said as well, a chance to build some momentum now. Yeah, another tough game. Tuesday, every game is a tough one and a big one. We just need to start picking up points now, and I think we showed glimpses today of what we are capable of doing, and it's something to build on, and we will look to be doing that Tuesday. Cheers, thank you.
That's Nathaniel Mendez-Laing after Derby's draw at Norwich this afternoon. Not many games in the Championship this weekend. It's FA Cup 4th round weekend, of course. In the lunchtime game, a draw between Sunderland and Watford, and a late winner for West Brom to get the better of Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield United winning today as well, beating Portsmouth, doing Derby a favour. Bristol City host Swansea tomorrow. Championship table then, there were some games in the week as well which have affected things. Leeds top, 2 clear of Sheffield United. Bit of a gap now to Burnley and to Sunderland. West Brom have climbed to 5th. It is still very tight for those final 2 playoff spots. Anyone all the way down to maybe 14th will strongly feel like they are in with a shout. But Derby missed the chance to move out of the bottom 3 today. The Rams do move a point closer to safety. They gain a point on Portsmouth, crucially as well, after their defeat this afternoon. Hull in between Pompey and the Rams. Luton and Plymouth rounding out the bottom 3 now have game in hand on Derby. Well, that's all from us for now. If you want more reaction, the place to keep an eye on developments is the website, of course, dcfc.co.uk. We'll be back with you Tuesday, whatever happens. For now, from me, Barks, and the team. Goodbye.